thing. All righty. How do you all feel after your coffee fix? See, you know if you don't say that, I'm going to go, hang on a minute, who's in the room? Are we here? Oh, all of our dance crew have arrived. Glad you could join us. All right, so we've talked about your why. How do we link this to our business? Anyone know? Our why is our big purpose, we know that. Has to be bigger than our fear. But how do we connect that down into our business model? Your why, your story and your flavour aren't meant to be for everyone. So, like Steve with that guy that posted on about him being on the cover, it obviously pushed a lot of buttons. He's not meant to be for that person. He had 140 odd comments of all of us saying, go you, and one person who clearly wasn't Steve's cup of tea. So we need to really understand who our ideal client is, who our avatar is. Because when we know our why, and if some of you are still on the journey, I'm going to give you something to do at the end of this session where you can email me and I'll send you a template that'll help if you want it. When we understand our why and we're truly connected with who we are, then we know who we're meant to serve. Because we are really not meant to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. There's certain people out there who will judge us based on the way we look and the way they want to see us without even understanding the backstory, okay? I get this all the time. After the floods, I went broke to BMW. It was the name of the book that I launched. I bought a yellow BMW because I believe I was born to stand out, and I'd been suppressed my whole life, and I was told I was an introvert. Clearly I'm an extrovert. Clearly. And I'd never been able to show that. It was my reward. It had nothing to do with what people thought when I drove past. It was for me. And people that loved me celebrated and applauded because they knew how hard I'd worked to pay off massive debt in 18 months using no standard strategies. I did everything outside of the book. And I wrote the book and then became the mentor and helped others do the same. But I knew I wasn't everyone's cup of tea. And I had people saying to me, who do you think you are, Shar? You talk about helping girls in Thailand and India live a better life, but here you are driving a bespoke custom order that took 6 months to make, yellow 320D. Because they live in the mentality of and or. They are in the or. You can have the car or you can fundraise for girls. I live in the and. I can have whatever I choose to work hard for and have for me and my family, and I will adopt our daughter and help other girls in India as well. So where are you living? Where are you thinking? Where are your clients thinking? You will never convert the or people into your world. You're not meant to. They're for someone else. Send them to your competitor. With love. No return address. Our mindset, when it has full clarity around our why, we know who we're meant to serve. A few people that we called up this morning, and thank you all so much for being so great and being drilled like you were. It was awesome because everyone got so much out of that, as well as you, I hope. We're meant to serve a certain section of the market. And when we truly understand who that is, everything changes. So before I ever jump into this, I can only ever share what works for me in my business, okay? And hopefully from that, really quickly, you'll then get an idea of what works for you. And then I'm going to be getting some people up and we're going to drill down into finding exactly who your avatar is that is literally waiting right now for your product and service and will pay you anything for it. And I would like to encourage, I know there's a recording and it will stay within the community. I'm not a money numbers person, but in a session like this, I have to share those with you so you can see what's possible for you. Because hopefully this morning I've helped you realise I'm just like you. We are all equal. I'm nothing special, okay? We are all equal. But you can see what's possible, knowing my background, knowing my lack of education and all the rest of it. You can see what's achievable in business when you truly know your why and your who. Is that okay with everyone? Give me a yes. We're all back. Great. Okay, so I specialise, and there are always exceptions to every rule, I specialise in helping women, typically aged 35 to 55, find and live their why, their true purpose in life. I've also worked with 16-year-olds and I've worked with 72-year-old women, and I also work with couples and single men, okay? But I specialise. This is my core target audience. Why? 1, they resonate with me. I'm the same age bracket. 2, I'm a mum. I often work with a lot of mums. So I get their juggle, their struggle, 3 kids, etc. My husband worked in the industrial sector for 35 years, so predominantly he was away. So I felt like a single mum a lot of the time. 2 boys and our daughter. 3, I have been in business 15, 16 years now, so I get the journey and what's required. So they resonate with me. Your ideal client is often you, okay? And we can relate to that. It allows us to stop trying to be something we're not, to suit a market we're not really meant to serve. Does that make sense? Okay, so these women contact me about mentoring. They're either lost, they've raised their children, they don't need them as much anymore, and they're starting to look in the mirror going, what do I want to do? Who am I? What's my purpose? Am I really just here to do all of those things and run the house and blah, blah, blah? Maybe there's more. And then they pick my magazine up. Who has a copy of my magazine, or who's heard about it before today? Shock, horror. Oh, 2 up the back, thank you. Please go buy it. No, I'm serious. Go buy it. They pick my magazine up, or they see something, or they sit in a room like this and they go, she could help me, if they're in that demographic, okay? So I don't have to be anything I'm not up here. There's certain people in the room go, yeah, I like her, she's good, yeah, she's all right, she goes all right, yeah, she talks all right, but she's really not my style. And that's fine, because I'm not changing myself to suit you so that you can feel like I'm the right person for you, because if we're not a fit, square peg, round hole will never make sense, okay? But there's women in the room and maybe some men in the room who are going, I so get her. It's like she's talking just to me. There is no one else here. I'm too scared to go talk to her now, but at some point in the next 2 days, before she leaves, lunchtime tomorrow, I'm going to pin her down and I'm going to ask her some questions. And there's a few people laughing going, because I know who you are. Done this a little while now. Right? So I'm going to be the best version of me for you, because you are my avatar. Okay? Also, who's read a book a few years ago and then you read it again in a few years' time and you wonder who slipped into your bedroom, pulled it out of your bedside drawer and put chapters in there that weren't there before? Anyone else but me? It's like the same person that goes in over Christmas and makes all your clothes smaller. We are not always ready to hear the information we are receiving at the time. There are always a few people in my audience who go, get it, right on the money, exactly where I'm at, how do I get into this whatever? And then there's others who 6 months later email me. I've had a lady who was on a cruise ship I spoke at 2 years ago email me a few weeks ago going, I get it now, I'm ready. Awesome. It's your journey. So know that you have 3 types of clients, your A grade clients, your B grade and your C grade. Your A grade are ready right now. They are hot to trot. They want to make a change and they want to buy your product, service and be part of your tribe. Ready to go. They don't ask price. They're not interested. They just want the result. and they know you can deliver it for them. They're the ones we're looking for. Second to that, we have our B grade clients. They get it, and there will be some factors in their life at the time that doesn't allow them to move forward right now. But they'll stay in the wings. They'll like you on social media. They'll connect with you. They'll go on your database, and they'll ripen. And then our C grade get it, but they're on the outside of the circle. They're not quite sure. We need to nurture all of them at their pace. Remember, you can't change anyone but yourself. If you keep showing up every day in every situation, regardless of what's going on for you in your private life, and you deliver your A game at every meeting, at every phone call, at every stage you're speaking at, wherever you are, you present like it's your last presentation, you will find those right people. Okay, so ideal client. Who's done work on their ideal client before? Who thinks they know their avatar? Yep, okay. So, who wants to come up? I think it's better to do this live. Who wants to come up and have a play and see if we can articulate it even better? Remember, at the end of finding our right ideal client is a pot of money. So, who wants to come up? Yes. Give him a round of applause. What's your name? Michael. Nice to meet you. Okay, so tell us about your business and who your ideal client is.
It's a stop smoking business.
Oh, nice.
So my ideal client is between usually the ages of 35 to 60.
Okay.
And they've usually tried a lot of things and failed.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very cynical.
35, 60, did you say?
Yeah.
Male, female?
Both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's pretty even split, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
They've tried other things, yep.
Yeah, they're very cynical about trying new things.
Mm-hmm.
They think that anything that's they've unheard of is possibly a scam. And they're very scared. And they're scared about trying. They're scared about failure. They believe they're the problem because, you've got large pharmaceuticals offering a so-called solution, and you've got Quitline that they've been through and it hasn't worked. And so they actually think they're the problem because their friends have quit too. In Australia, this is. So they're the very hardest client to sell. So they need a lot of education.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it okay with you and everyone that we unpack this a bit more? Is that okay if we dive into this? Because you guys will learn as well. So if you don't mind me asking, and share what you want to share, but is this bringing you a six-figure income at the moment?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. And you're saying it's a 50-50 split. So where are you getting leads from in your business now?
Well, Facebook mainly.
Facebook.
I'm very slack with SEO.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And is it something that you can offer to anyone in Australia, or do they need to be physically present? So it's a local service.
Can be, mainly capital cities, but we do get people travelling up to 6 hours.
So do you have a clinic, or can you do it over Zoom?
I have different locations.
Oh, okay, yep.
So I have people who do a face-to-face component,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of it's online.
Okay. So out of the two markets being male and female half-half, who would you prefer to work with?
It doesn't matter because it's actually the problem that we're dealing with that we can solve.
The only reason I ask that, and feel free to push back because that's what it's about. The reason I ask that is when we are doing our marketing, women and men are extremely different, okay? So marketing to a woman, so if I was a smoker, I'm 47, and if I was a smoker and you put a post up on social media as a lead gen that was geared for both men and women, I'd probably scroll past it, okay?
We have two
different
separate
sets,
ads,
yeah.
one for men, one for women.
Okay, and what are their pain points? Like what are they they've tried other things and so on, but why are they ready to stop?
Well, there is the person who's ready right now.
What makes them ready right now?
Sometimes there's an event in their life
Right?
that pushes them over the edge. Sometimes it's money, because every time the price goes up in Australia, that hurts them.
Yep.
Sometimes it's an event could be is something like a health scare, or their grandchild says, "Granny, you stink."
Nice.
So something like that.
Yeah.
But readiness, look, most of them want to quit. They go in cycles of exploring. And if they come across our site, then there's a process of readiness that happens there that they can, once they've consumed enough videos, then they'll realise, oh, I can do this.
So they're watching videos to get to the point of the sale.
Yeah, there's a lot of education.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the moment you're getting leads on Facebook. So what does that mean? Are you putting ads on Facebook and you're doing and you're getting people through to a free something, or okay?
Yeah. So they have a free getting started course.
Yep.
It's 10 videos.
Yep.
And then that goes through to I've got some sales guys.
Oh, okay.
So I like to call them customer service people, because it's not about convincing someone to do something they're not ready for.
Yeah.
It's about educating them to the point of going, oh, I think I can do this.
Yes.
And then they start watching the actual real educational stuff. Yeah.
And how long's that cycle from when they see something on Facebook, they watch all these videos, how long does that cycle take to go from that to dollars?
Well, it depends. You know how you've got your 3% that are ready to buy now? Well, those people can ring up and they'll say, I've seen your videos, want to do it. And that'll be maybe a week. But other people, they might be, in that
cycle,
learning cycle for months.
Yeah.
There's even people who they'll ring up after a year. Their best friend quit 2 packets a day, gave them the number. Their other relative quit, same method. They still wait a year because they're so scared, and then they come in and start.
So where's your biggest challenge in lead gen at the moment, or with your ideal client?
In terms of lead gen?
Yeah, or 'cause it sounds like your ideal client, like you've got 2 markets, but it sounds like you've determined a little bit of a broad bracket. And I know it's like with the why work, like everyone needs to know their purpose in life, but is everyone ready? When you're 20, 30, you're still 10 foot tall, bulletproof. You don't really want to know why you're here. It's a lot of our women that get to that point where they go, wow, when is it my turn? Like, when can I make my life all about me? So there's a sort of 8 to 10 year bracket of women that I specifically work with. So it's quite broad from 35 to 60.
Well, the thing is, 35 is about when people are having kids, or they've got kids, and they don't want the kids now to figure out that they're smoking and set a bad example. 60, these are the diehards that are finally getting round to it because of health.
Yeah.
So it's 35, that kind of early family is a good time. Young people are still bulletproof.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And what's the biggest challenge in the business at the moment?
The biggest challenge, you mean in terms of lead gen?
Yeah, or in the business. Like, what are you getting enough leads? What's the biggest challenge you're facing?
The biggest challenge is creating belief, right? So we get lots of leads, and I've got a good database. You wouldn't believe how many people. I've got a 30,000 database. Now, most of those people haven't purchased. Why? Because I haven't succeeded in showing them that there's something different here. Okay, so and the other thing that we're really I haven't really bad at is I haven't created a really good word of mouth client referral system.
Yes, yeah.
Because this is a client referral business, and haven't systematized that. We get lots of client referrals, but I haven't systematized it.
That's what I was thinking when you
Almost-
said
I'm al-
before.
I've kind of started it, but I
Yeah.
haven't finished it.
Yeah, it's like the whole bring a friend, the happy hour kind of concept is getting your tribe to do your marketing for you, because we all know we're going to tell our clients that we're the best, right? Our product's amazing. But getting our customers and clients to do that is going to carry so much more weight.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it sounds like you've got your different markets, but that's working. It's now about the 30,000 converting a percentage of those, which is going to come from your clients that have done the program and got the results. Do you have testimonies? Do you have videos? You probably need.
Facebook is full of testimonies.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
So it's about packaging that up to your database,
Yeah. I'm
giving them an incentive.
the epiphany I've had recently is all about storytelling, and you did it brilliantly.
Thank you.
So that's what I'm moving into. See, I did this whole thing of education, but it's all techno-babble.
Right.
It's all theory, right? So I'm going to switch that now, and I'm going to go
Boil it
story,
down. Yeah.
real-life human stories, and that's kind of what I've been working on,
Nice.
to share them my origin story and epiphany of that.
So why did you start this, Michael? What's your why behind it?
Uh,
Why is it important to you?
I started it by accident. But why do I keep doing it? Because it really changes people's lives. And the thing is, it's not just the actual smoker that changes. I didn't realise this until I started getting emails from family
Ripple
saying,
effect.
we were secretly worried about this my husband, my father, whatever, and now we're so relieved and happy.
Do you have that written down or in video?
I have that written down. That's on Facebook, but I haven't. See,
That's marketing gold.
yeah.
That is absolute. That's all all of this part you're fine with. The absolute marketing gold is story. The best marketing is a great story. It's a story arc. Where were people before your product or service? Then when they found you, what happened and where are they now? It's a beautiful arc. Any Hollywood movie, drama, destroyed, wonderful, it's the same story arc. You need to bottle those family members who you can incentivise in some way, partner with someone that you could gift them something for doing something. Like what gets rewarded gets repeated, let's face it. If there's something in it for us, we're more likely to give a testimony or a review. So how could you reward your customer or those family members to say, imagine the impact if we could share, could you grab your iPhone out and just do what you've done there on video, but then give them something. So you could partner with someone in the industry, or like every client has a journey, okay? So we're not the be all and end all to your clients. They've come from somewhere, we do our part, and then we send them somewhere. So who could you collaborate with your client before they get to you and then after? So are there products and services you might have already that you could say, well, send you blah, 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 because the impact of your testimony could help one other person stop smoking?
Well, what I find is gratitude is a great currency. And I've never had anyone refuse to give me a testimony.
No,
So it's just a matter of actually asking them. And so that's the kind of part of the client referral system that I'm wanting to automate. I don't mean automate in a heartless way. I mean automate as in so that it happens all the time and just grows organically. So that's where I'm kind of going with that. But why did I start it? Why am I doing it? Because it changes their life and their family's life. But the thing is, the method that we use, they realise that the thing that trapped them, that they thought they were completely, it was almost like they thought it was impossible to break out of this. They realised that, wow, I'm now free of that. And
what else can I do?
Exactly. What else can I do now? And because the method that we teach them, they can actually freely use that to change anything that is blocking them.
Are you sharing that in a video to people?
It's kind of there in snippets, but I kind of feel that that's a whole nother business as well. That when I finish this one, I'm going to move more into that, because that's more of a general empowerment thing. But because it has a deeper root, of really freedom from the bondage of your mind. Kind of thing.
And I think the clients that have gotten that result, asking them to put it together and then using their videos to market you will help convert that 30,000, some of those 30,000, because it's not you saying it as much. You can say it as well, but it's that 30,000, converting more of that, that's instantly a way you can grow your business. They're on there because they want help.
Yeah, well, actually, what I'm doing, I don't know if this is oversharing, is I'm creating a practitioner network because
Okay.
more than
Great.
'cause I can't do it all.
No, of course. Yeah,
so
nice.
I'm empowering them, and
that's
they're going to be my
beautiful.
kind of real client in
Nice.
the sense of money.
Yeah, great.
The others will provide money as well, but
Yeah.
the thing is, I'm creating an opportunity for them to help,
Yes,
and I'm going to serve them,
beautiful.
teach them how to do that, and then
Beautiful.
that's going to just spread organically.
Well done. I think the main difference with all that you're doing, because everything else is great, is just getting those marketing stories out there and building that client referral system. When you can do that, that'll be amazing. So thank you so much for sharing. That's great. Thanks so much, Michael. Appreciate that. Give him a round of applause. All right. Who in the room is struggling to define their ideal client? They're not quite sure. Maybe they're getting pushback from people they thought were their ideal client. They're getting people cancelling, changing their mind. Who's struggling a bit with it? Everyone in the room has got a green light marketing funnel all the way to 7 figures. Come on, who wants to come up? Yep. Thanks, Jerome. Give him a round of applause. All right. So, ideal client. Yes, sorry.
So it's really interesting. I started working with guys between the ages of 27 and 43. And what I've found now is going out there and the imagery on my websites and the message and everything, talking about the masculine and feminine energy and stepping up and being more expressive in what you do and how you do it. Yet I'm attracting a lot of women who want to be coached.
And what sort of age group are they now?
Lots of different ages.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. It's had the opposite effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're looking for that strength.
Yeah, I think because women are a lot in their masculine energy running a business, sometimes you can come in and bring that masculine energy so they can actually sit back and go, can you help me make a decision here? That takes the weight off them.
So now it's women?
I'm having conflict in that space, yeah.
Okay. What age group are these women?
Between 38 and 55.
And what are their pain points? Like they're in their own business, they're wanting to, what are their growth?
The pain point is between being a mother, being a lover, and being a leader in business.
And they don't know how to harmonise all of that.
Yeah, that's
okay. Right. And what would they have tried before?
What would they have tried before? Their self-help books, CDs, going to workshops, but not finding something that can actually come in. And because they're a lot in their masculine energy, the husband tends to be more in their feminine energy. That's the relationship. And so when they go home, they want that man to step up, sometimes ravish them, sometimes, and feel like a woman, but they're not getting that. But then in some ways, it's because of the energy they're bringing in. So you go in and help them in their business, and it's like they can now sit back and move back into their feminine energy. So it's really interesting. I started this program, Unlocking Your Inner Alpha for Men, and this
brought the women in,
and it's brought, not heaps and bounds, but I'm just seeing a lot of women going, "Can I meet you for a coffee?" Blah blah blah. Can do just run ideas by you more than men now at the moment. So I don't know if that's my marketing or whatever, but they're seeing something that can come in and actually, just be more masculine energy in that business for them to actually sit back and go, "Oh, thank fuck." Relax a bit now because I'm here in it in work and I'm in it at home. I go home and I want to tidy up the house and I've got to do this and I'm stuck in that masculine energy and I cannot get out of it and I'm heading towards burnout.
So it's a cycle. Do any women relate to that? And it is. We're in that cycle at the moment, and I'm not sure. Like again, speaking for me, I'm not sure that I I mean, I know I have masculine energy with the businesses we run and so on, but I'm not sure that that's a space I choose to be in and also want to be in. I love being loved on. I love being not able to open a jar and ask my husband to do it. I want him to be the manly man. And so I don't know that women want to wear that masculine energy all the time in both parts of their life, but we've had, it feels like we've had to shift into that. But I think retaining our feminine is our biggest power, don't you? Because that's what we own. We so nail that. And I think encouraging women, if that is a market you're going into,
Well, I'm not.
you're not intentionally doing it.
You know, you were saying earlier.
Yeah, of course. So it sounds like it's leading you that way. So if we were to explore that more, is that okay with you if we delve?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm here to also help the room as well. Because
Yeah, of
going
course.
through this, they're probably going through their own journey.
Absolutely. So write all the questions that I'm going to ask, write it down for yourselves as well, because you can then do this activity in your own business. If you haven't done it, even if you have, it changes. Like you said, you created something with one target audience and it's ended up attracting another. So tell me, sure.
I saw when my dad fell from grace, he was a successful author. When he fell from grace through alcoholism, my mum had to then
Pick
move
up.
away from her feminine energy and go into on the sewing machine making. And I lost the mother
Right.
in my life, and she was the hard worker working long hours, and so there was a disconnection in my relationship because she became the masculine energy, and my father became the unresourceful feminine energy because he fell from grace. So just explaining that journey.
So that's why you're attracting that, because that's who you've seen in your life. So I'm thinking that this could be a very, very good avatar for you, because you've got a connection to it in your own personal life, so you can see how it's happened, which makes you relatable to this ideal client as well, and adding value to it. Yeah. So the men may not be attracted to it because you can't resonate with that.
I can because of my journey.
Yeah, your journey in it,
I
but
can relate to the men.
exactly, yeah. Women at the moment are loving all this leadership and support and guidance, so I'm thinking that could be a really good avatar for you. So tell me about these women. Okay, we know how old they are. Are they in their own business or they're in corporate?
It can be the odd corporate person, but it's mainly they've got their own business.
Okay, and are they married?
Yeah, most of them are married.
Yeah. Do they have kids?
Yeah, high percentage of them have got children.
Okay, what sort of age group? Young or teenage or?
It varies. Between 5 and probably 12.
Okay, so still relatively little. The reason that we ask this, by the way,
at home.
yeah,
There's that guilt factor.
Yeah,
I'm
the
not
guilt.
I'm being pulled away from my there's the guilt thing.
mummy guilt is such a real thing,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And we need to drop that, because we need to be where we're at and enjoy where we're at, because we can't be in two places at once. It serves no one. If I'm here thinking, oh, my daughter's at blah, 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 doing this, how does that work? So be where you're at, enjoy what you're doing at the time. The reason that I ask this, so here's the thing, here's the underlying definition, I guess, of why I do this, and it's important for you to know if you're writing this down for yourselves. We need to be really articulate. You may or may not be attracting your ideal client right now, but remember, we go into our own business so that we can create our own reality. So if you are not sure and you're getting a few different types of things, it's really important to fine-tune this so that you can work with exactly who you want to work with, because there's every type of person out there. So if you've got mums with younger kids, there's a few things there. One, they may not have the time to spend working with you because they've still got little children. 2, they may not have the cash flow to work with you as well. So you've got to look at what's the ideal word. So as I ask you these questions, try and think about who's your perfect client. If we could bring her up on stage and create her from nothing, who would she be? Okay, so kids, are you still happy with the kids 5 to 12?
Well, I'm just saying, if I look back from this quick reflection, that's what's going on there.
But who would you like them to be? Would you prefer them to have what?
I would
Who would you
prefer
like them to
they
be?
had
More freedom. So teenage.
To work, yeah.
So
they can
teenage.
actually work on themselves and work on their business.
Okay, great. So now, are they living in their own home or renting or
Usually
own?
in their own home.
Okay, is it in the city, suburbs, beach, hills?
I live on the northern beaches, so it's mainly around that area.
Beaches?
Yeah.
Okay. And what sort of clothing are they wearing? Are they wearing Target? Are they wearing boutique clothing? Who are they as a human being?
They're quite trendy from the
Right, okay. Yep, trendy, respectable. What sort of car are they driving? What would you like them to be driving?
At the moment, the ones they're sort of minding like four-wheel, like a people carrier.
Who would you like them to be?
Who would I like them to be? Probably someone who's at that level now where they're driving something that they feel is theirs.
A little bit more of an elite car?
Yeah.
Yep. What sort of colour is it? Is it blending in like grey, black, silver, white? I'll tell you why I'm asking all this. So jot all of these questions down on your paper.
Good questions. I'm just going from my mindset
Yeah,
now.
great.
It's like gunmetal grey, silver,
Yep.
black.
Yep.
I
Okay.
don't know if that's more me than the women.
That's okay. It is what it is. There's no wrong or right with this, by the way.
Red. Midlife crisis. Red.
Don't laugh. I bought my husband in Abu Dhabi a grappa orange Mustang for his midlife crisis. So don't laugh at the red. It's better than the orange. Okay, so a silver car. Now, are they someone that would go to a mass market gym? Would they be someone that has a personal trainer? Do they do small group work, or they just exercise at home? Are they health conscious?
A lot of them, at the moment, when you start working with them, have neglected themselves. They've put everyone before themselves. So they may be going to the gym, but it's not. It's more for connection.
You're
so
right.
They might be doing group things because they feel, but really they've neglected. So they haven't really been congruent with their feminine energy, so they feel uncomfortable receiving.
Right.
And so
Okay.
you come in with coaching and understand there's a disconnection with you between giving and receiving.
Yes.
Putting everyone else before yourself.
Yes.
I saw that with my mum,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can see that with, it's a common pattern in women today.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, and there's more we could drill down, but that's what we can do now. So let's jump into the 2 a.m. So for everyone writing this down, you've got to think about what's the biggest challenges that your ideal client will face at 2 o'clock in the morning. When they're sitting there alone, kids are asleep, husband's away or asleep or whatever, and they're there by themselves within their own thoughts, they're vulnerable. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. What is it that they're challenged with? What are they worried about? What's keeping them awake at night? What's making them upset? Let's drill into that, Jerome.
One of the big things that come out, they're not fully, and it's not that they say this, is I know this, is from, they're not truly filling their cup up from an intimacy point of view.
Okay.
And so they're giving all this energy to the business, energy to their children, energy to keeping the house clean or tidy. We live in a world that's driven by economics, so we're all in our masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
So
all about others,
and
neglect for themselves.
Now are becoming run down.
Yep.
They're not giving. So but that where you go to fill your cup up is in those intimate moments with another human being, and they're not getting that.
So what else keeps them awake? What else are they worried about?
Well, maybe you can ask the women here. From my point of view, it's that there's a disconnection between their personal life and what they're doing, and they can't go home to rest.
Yep.
And be in their feminine energy and feel like something that's sexually desired. Yeah, and really feel safe going vulnerable into that energy because the man's not stepping up.
Okay, so what else worries them? They're worried about their relationship.
Am I with the right person?
Right.
Worry them. Am I with someone who's actually going to step up and be a man? Because I can't keep going on like this for the rest of my life. Ladies, if I'm off track here, please.
Is he on the money? Yeah, you'd agree? Excellent. Okay, what else?
And I'm happy to be wrong, so if you chip in and help me.
There's no wrong, there's only learning.
Sharon's good at what she does. So, what was that next question?
Am I the right person? Okay, what else worries them? Are they worried about their...
I think they're worried about burnout.
Burnout?
Losing their attractiveness, age, catching up with them. And what you said, why am I doing this? Empty nest syndrome. The kids are leaving now, and have I lost my purpose? Is my work giving me what my children were giving me?
That's such a real thing. I cried so much when my 25-year-old moved out. Oh my God, it's like, no. It's such a real thing. And then my 21-year-old moved out, and I was like, not so bad. I can't wait for my 15-year-old to move out. Gets better.
Yeah.
So empty nesting, it's a real like, oh, what do I do? And who am I without my children?
Yeah.
is also, it's that identity. I've been a mum for so long now, who am I?
Yes.
So it's that identity thing as well. Anyone want to add in the room? What else? What else would worry this woman at 2 o'clock in the room, at 2 o'clock in the morning? Yell it out. What else is she worried about?
Yeah, that's a good one, buddy.
Judgment. Yep. Judgment. Yep. What else? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Anyone else? Thank you. So it sounds like we've articulated her 2 a.m. concerns. The reason that we go into so much detail, I'll tell you in 2 seconds. If you can think about this woman, she's a woman 38 to 55. She's a mum, lover, leader. She's in business. She's married with teenage kids. She owns her own home near the beaches, trendy, drives a silver sort of sporty car. She feels neglected. She feels like she's not quite filling her cup up in the intimacy space or just her own cup. She's making it all about others. She feels disconnected. Am I even with the right person? Am I facing burnout? Not being attractive enough, not spending enough time on me. What is my why? What happens when I become an empty nester? Who am I going to be? What's my identity? And how will I be judged? If you could put a name for her based on that, any name, what would you call her? No wrong names, just what's the first one that comes to mind? What would you call her? That's all right, doesn't matter, it's just a name.
I think Sharon.
Sharon?
We can call her Sharon.
Well, let's call her Sharon, okay.
Jackie, yeah.
So what would you prefer, Sharon or Jackie?
Call Sharon.
Sharon, okay. So,
Can I add to this? And
Yeah.
I think, ladies, help me here. I think the deep thing is the disconnection is loneliness.
yeah, right,
The
okay.
big thing here,
Yeah.
as we're talking through this and Michael sharing, is
Yeah.
that feeling of loneliness.
Yeah.
Great one. I think men suffer with that as well, though, big time. That's it, vulnerability, yeah, to go into it, that's spot on.
Yeah, great. And they, again, don't know who they are, so it's that identity thing. And being lonely, it's a touch-hungry society. It saddened me so much when I worked in the spa industry of how many male travellers would get into the hotels that would literally come out and on their comment card they would say, the only time I get any human touch is when I visit your spa. And they might not visit for 2 or 3 months and they're married. So we are such a digital society now. We feel like we've touched someone because we like to post. So do you know how human beings is all about touch and connection? So it broke my heart. So the reason that everyone's going to touch the person next to you, please. Give them in an appropriate place. There's a few of you I needed to say that for. You know who you are. Hands above the table. There's a reason we need to drill down on this, and honestly, when I work with private clients, it can take half a day to articulate it. Now, yes, our products and services can help a number of different people, but the more fine-tuned we get with this, the more of a client attraction magnet you become, okay? And you're going to find people that come through the doorway you weren't expecting, welcome them, but it's because you've fine-tuned exactly who you want to help them become, so then they will navigate to you. So from a perspective of why did we go through all of this, just to break it down, we need to know who they are and where to find them, because Facebook is beautiful. It allows us to target people exactly where they are and what they're doing. So I had businesses that I used to work with and they were so specific that, my ideal client would drive a BMW. So great. So I sent her off to BMW dealership and she did a partnership with the top sales guys, the top 3 sales guys, and she created vouchers because they were her ideal clients. So every time the sales guy sold a car over $80,000 that was bespoke, like for people like me that drive it, anyone else in the room, we're very specific people, she was trying to attract me into her business. She was a personal stylist. So she created vouchers from the sales guy that said, congratulations on purchasing your beautiful car. Here is a mini style session with stylist blah, blah, blah. And it came from the salesperson, not the stylist. And she packaged it up beautifully. And, you know, ribbon and sellotape. The sales guy's like, haha, look at me, I gave you this, right? So he wins. The lady buying the car gets that as well as the flowers and champagne. She wins. And she's picked up a new client. What did it cost her? Because she took the time to drill down on who her ideal client was. Owning a home, real estate, if your market is women like that, you know, there's certain real estates up in Queensland, I don't know if they're here, Bell Property, that specialise in women. If your market is divorced women, they specialise in helping divorced women get reset back up. Wouldn't you want a gift to be going out to these? These are all things that don't cost money. They just cost a cup of coffee and a good phone call. So, understanding all of these things, these are all your marketing tactics that you use in social media, because we have to meet people where they're at, not where we want them to be. If you're talking to people on social media or at an event, you've got to meet them where they're at. You've got to be speaking their language. They can't see who they're going to be when they're no longer lonely, when they're so comfortable in their own skin. They don't wear spandex stuff to hold their bed. Like, they just show up in real life as they are, right? They can't see how they could be that person yet because they're still here. So you need to meet them here. You have to speak to them here. So you have to say, you have to use that, you have to put a bit of lemon on it for a little while, because you are the one that can help them. You have to say, you know, being lonely is not why we're here. Are you feeling neglected? You know, you have to bring that stuff up, because they'll read that and go, that's me. I put some pretty vulnerable posts on social media and sharing my story because I want other people to realise that I get them. I understand them. I know what they're going through. I know what it feels like to be worthless and told you're not good enough. Leave the jokes to your brother. He's the funny one. I crack my friends up all the time. I'm hilarious. Thank you for laughing. On cue. But you have to know where people are at. You have to resonate with that. So you've got to share part of your story to attract these women, if this is a rabbit hole you want to go down, because by you sharing, you watch this dynamic change in your own household. You watched your mother step up into this role and be the breadwinner and go more masculine. You have to share that, because women will go, he gets me. He gets me. He gets the struggle is real. Even though you're a man, the reason that I believe this avatar for you will be so lucrative and you'll make such an impact, because you've watched it firsthand. You get it. Trying to coach someone, I'm a mentor. I teach from experience. I help people make $100,000 from their inbox over a weekend with no ad spend. Only because I do it and have done it and help my clients do it. I'm not a coach. I didn't read about it and go, this might work, let's just share this. Who are you wanting to be? Mentor or coach? You're a mentor. You've watched it. You've lived it. So you can feel what it's like to be in that home environment and watch the dynamics of your mum and dad change. You will be so much value to this space. And you're giving it a male's perspective, which us women, we couldn't do in that space. So it's not to say you can't work with men as well, but I think that's an extremely lucrative industry for you. And coming at it from the male perspective, wow.
And I think, thank you, Shar. I think the challenge we will have is what we want to do and what organically comes to us, and that's sometimes where the conflict is. This is really what I feel I want to do, but why does the universe just keep throwing this at me? It's like I'm not just getting on with it.
Yeah.
And serving.
Yeah. So if we release ourselves, sometimes we can fight and fight and fight for what we believe is what we want, and on our business plan. I haven't done a business plan, I don't think, ever. Sorry if anyone in the room does them. It just doesn't work for me. Not saying it's wrong for you. It's like PowerPoints and I just don't get on. Because I tailor what I believe is my why and my gift to the audience that need me. And I had my own sort of set ideas of who I wanted to serve, and then they ended up in my inbox. I'm like, come on. The universe is screaming at you, bringing you these women. So you can keep trying to build your model, and it's difficult and not working and whatever, and you've got this whole tribe of women going, but I need help. So maybe, whoever's your mentor, trainer, coach, whatever, maybe that's a conversation you need to have is, should I be shifting and pivoting? Businesses that don't pivot aren't here today.
Yeah.
We all need to pivot. So,
Steve, I've got to talk to the niches again.
sorry, Steve.
Change of website. Hashtag 22.
Well, WD-40. Who knows the story of WD-40? It was the 40th attempt to get the recipe right. WD-40. It wasn't WD-1. We don't always nail it first time. Chanel? Number 5, yeah. 5th go. We're all a version of ourselves that isn't 0.00, trust me. But I would definitely be exploring that more because I know this market well. This is pretty much my market and they're screaming out for help. And having a male's perspective, wow. I know a magazine you can be in as well that targets...
And my wife.
Did that help?
Massively, and it's yeah, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
I know Steve wanted to cuddle you, but can I cuddle you?
Absolutely. He already snuck one in as I walked in, so his quota's full. Thank you, and you're welcome to take that after as well. Thank you. Is anyone flashing at me at the back of the room? How am I going for time? 15. Oh, okay. Okay, one really quick one. Yes, come on. I say I'm going to be really quick, but... Hello. What's your name? Dawes. Nice to meet you. How do you spell that?
D-O-R-Z.
Nice.
Short for Doreen, but
Doreen.
as everyone knows, only Mum calls me Doreen when I'm in trouble.
Yeah. It's like people that call me Sharon, I just keep walking.
Me too, yeah.
Sharon, my mum used to say to me. Oh. Anyway, Dawes, tell me about you and your business.
So my business started nearly 2 years ago. I'm in digital marketing and I specialise in SEO. And yeah, so I guess in that evolution phase where I started my own business because I actually lost my job. So I was working for an agency and they closed their doors down.
Nice.
So I went from a really good salary, managing teams here and in the US, to a Monday morning email that said,
Thank you,
now
but no
have
thank you.
nothing."
Wow.
I'm a mum of 2 kids, so I've got a 7-year-old and a 12-year-old.
Nice. Boys or girls?
2 boys.
Good.
Yep.
Sorry.
and-
I love girls. I love my daughter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a hubby as well, and yeah, so I guess I feel like I'm in the really early phases of business because I've always worked for other companies and built other people's businesses, but for me, I feel like, I've got so much to learn.
Don't we all?
Yeah, and I have been learning along the way, but as part of that, my initial, I guess, target market or avatar was women in business because I felt like within my industry, there were a lot of male sort of, it was a male-dominated industry. And so, yeah, I just kind of wanted to level that up so that
women, what sort of age group?
Anywhere sort of from 35 all the way to 75.
Hard to market to that level though. If we could narrow it, because you think about it, you put something on Facebook for a 75-year-old woman to get attracted to and a 35-year-old woman, it's really hard. So just niche that down a bit more for me. If you could pick an 8 to 10 year gap.
Yeah, probably maybe is 35 to 45.
Yep,
maybe?
okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that just for this exercise. Again, it doesn't mean when the 72-year-old rang me up and said, I need mentoring, I want to write a book and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't mean I said, no, thanks, bye. But it just means that my main focus, because remember, colours, like you've got to dig into the marketing of this. Colours, languaging, images that you use on social media when you're doing your marketing posts have to relate to a certain audience. If you're putting women 35 to 42 in your marketing post, you're going to resonate. If you're putting a woman who's 75, the 35 years old are just going to scroll on by. So try and niche it down as best you can. The riches are in the niches. Write that down. It's been said by someone, can't remember who, someone else said it, the riches are in the niches. You niche your business and you go an inch wide and a mile deep, you'll never look for money. And I mentioned this before really quickly to someone, and I'll get back to you, I promise, but this is me digressing. And I've forgotten it. So, this is me. Okay, so women 35 to 45. So tell me about these women.
They're running a small business. They're trying to, I guess, market that through digital channels. But they've been overwhelmed or bombarded with all this stuff in their feeds and so forth, and so they're not quite sure what is the right fit for them.
Confusion.
So they're quite, confused, quite lost. They've heard about things like SEO, but in the past, because it's, can be quite sort of technical and lots of jargon, they'll go to workshops or do online training, but they're not able to then apply that knowledge into their own business.
So you do done for you? You do the work for them, so you take all those problems away? Okay.
I do both.
Yep.
So I actually do one-on-one consulting, whereby we use their business and their website and apply all of the strategies and techniques specifically for them.
Okay.
Because one of their pain points was they'll do an online course, but they're not quite sure how to then match the pieces up for their own business.
Yes.
So instead of me, I guess, doing something that's quite broad, we use their specific business and website as the
tailored
example,
it. Beautiful.
and it's tailored to them.
What sort of price point are you charging?
Not enough. And I've had a couple of people say this to me. I struggle with dollars.
So what price are you charging?
My prices start from like $500.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So, and we don't have time to go into who these women are. However, I want you to do some homework on this. I'll give you all my email address. So anyone I've grilled, feel free to email me any questions, because I don't want to leave you hanging. And I know I've only got a few more minutes left, but I'm going to grill you on this really quickly. And also you, Jerome, you're not off the hook even though you're sitting down. So, pricing. You must price your product or service for your ideal client. Don't price it based on what you think you're worth. When you understand your ideal client and you know that your product or service is going to help them get the result they've been looking for, and you address all of their 2 a.m. concerns with your product or service, and they're your A-grade client, like Michael said before. Did I get your name right? I'm on a roll. That's 2 names right all day. Those 3% are willing to spend, but here's the disconnect. If they have researched you and found out that you are the answer to their problems, and then they hear your price and they go, they don't know why, but they will not make this engagement sale with you, because they have finally realised you have what they want. Money is never a stumbling block. I started mentoring before I really knew what I was doing, when I went broke to BMW with $2.50 an hour. And I'm like, why would someone pay me? Because I was basing it off no education, barely finished year 11, no college degrees, no formal qualifications, yada, 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 you know the story. $250 they're going to pay me to talk? No way. Now I charge $3,000 an hour. And I have a wait list. I'm the same person I was then. Yes, I've grown and evolved and I've helped, blah, blah, blah. But I'm still targeting my price point to my ideal client. When I have women that ring me up and contact me and say, Shar, I have no excuses left. I have no excuses left because my marketing is done in such a way that don't turn up with your excuses or don't even bother talking to me. Don't tell me your whys, your children. I love that you're a great parent, but that's your role. When you turn up and say, I have no excuses left to not be the best version of myself, help me, I don't care what, they don't even ask price. Who would like that? If you don't have that yet, it's because this is too low. So they're looking at you. They're looking at a woman who's been made retrenched, redundant, whatever. had then gone into a business to help others get out of the confusion. Digital world is so noisy. Hence, I took my magazine from digital to print. Because no one gets a good article anymore. Everyone's snacking on content. They're reading something and something pings and they're gone. With a print magazine, you are focused and you're digesting a good article for your mind or your business. These women have got to a point where they say, I'm too confused. Dawes, I just want you to help me. That's way too cheap. And I don't even know the rest of your audience, but if they're in that age bracket, this should have another 0 on the end of it. So there's work you need to do, whoever's your mentor or if you're in the program, whatever, you need to work on the mindset. You definitely need to buy a magazine called Why Mag. It helps around mindset and belief in yourself to be the best version of you, because no one else is going to buy into you until you buy into you. No one else is going to buy into you until you buy into you. Yes, you need to deliver results. Of course you do. I don't charge that sort of money and go, good luck with that, I'm going to get new shoes. Actually, I do the new shoes, but I deliver a result. I deliver a result. You must be result-based focus, not teaching-based focus. Your product or service must deliver a result. And if you deliver a result and you're confident that you can give them what they need, add a 0. Find some, we don't have time to go through it, but create an ascension model with whoever you're working with based on, you know, the entry level, then spending a little bit of money with you and then building up. But if they want you, it's got an extra 0 on the end of it. And you only might take 3 clients on that, on a retainer or whatever, but build yourself up to that. And, you know, again, that's what I've had to do now, being so busy. I have my VIPs and then I have everything else under that. But get the confidence in you, because are you good? Do you damn good. Do you get a result? Yes. Okay, so why aren't you charging? Yep. Don't picture yourself, but I'm just a mum.
No, I
don't. Because if there's other big tech companies or digital companies doing what you're doing, getting the same result, I guarantee you they're not charging $500. So where do you want to be? What are you doing your business for? Why are you doing it? They're all the big questions I would ask you if I was, you know, had more time. Yep. Okay? Did that help?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Go do something with it. Great to be inspired. I'm not a motivational speaker. I want to help get results. It's great that you are inspired. Give her a round of applause. It's great that you are inspired, but it's about you getting a result. So, we don't have any more time for live demonstrations, but I would like to ask you all a favour, or 2 favours. Do you mind? I've told you all to put your phones away, but could you get them out just for a really quick moment, please? Could you go and like our Facebook page, YMAG Global? That'd be awesome. YMAG, Y-M-A-G, it's a letter Y. And I would love you to open your email really quickly. That's my email address, my name, shar@sharmoore.com.au. Would you mind taking a moment to email me? Just put subject line, conference name, whatever. And just email me one takeaway you got from today and one action step that you're going to do after my morning with you, please. Can we have some email writing music, please, Maestro? Action points that you're going to do from our morning together. What have I inspired you to take action about, and one takeaway? And anything else you want to say that's lovely is welcome. And any feedback on what I can do better, I'm always open for it. All right. If you've finished, thank you. If you're still writing and you want to say more, feel free to save it in drafts and add to it. But please send it to me, because I learn and grow from every presentation I do. So as we conclude, I want to thank firstly Steve for having me, and Megan, thank you so much for having me here speaking at the conference. I hope that my presentation today and the work that we've done, and thank you to everyone who's come up and been vulnerable and allowed us to sort of have a conversation, because I'm hoping it's triggered something in you to shift and open you up for, there's some incredible speakers still coming, and I'm so excited to hear from them as well. And I hope that it's opened you up into a heart space so you're ready to receive all the great presentations coming your way. I'm so blessed to do what I do now, and I really hope that one person in the room today has gotten a shift. But in life is all about taking action. So who would like this copy of the magazine that I've brought down? Life is all about taking action. In life, we have to go after what we want. We've got to go out there and take it. And, action is what will make everything fall into place. Sitting down and having all these great notes you've taken today in your notebook and then going back to work and doing nothing with it is no point. So take action, even if it's small action. Every movement forward is a movement forward. And like our hashtag of our magazine says, just do you. Don't compare to anyone else. Stop saying I'm just do you. Be the best version of you can be. I want to thank you all so much for being in the room this morning and hearing my presentation. Thank you.